Welcome to the special episode of Locally Sourced EP. My guest today is none other than Mr. Raymond Gay, a local comic book artist who has worked on many independent comics such as Ninja Kraden, Samurai of Oz, and even some bigger names you might know of like maybe The Last Ronin, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and even Spawn. Here's our interview while we're at El Paso Comic Con.
Sir, talk a little about, how did you get into becoming an artist here, especially here in El Paso?
Well, I didn't start, I guess, I don't want to say professionally, but how can I say? I took it as a more serious approach for about 10 years now. This was something I dabbled in as a youngster, and I realized that, hey, maybe one day I could make money doing what I love doing. So I tried it out, took the plunge, started off doing indie covers, and then it just snowballed after that. I got hit up for bigger and bigger projects. What's funny though is before I started working for Todd McFarlane was I got hit up by Marvel. I was an art director over there at Marvel. I did a cover for their stylized guide, so that was one of the, I guess, say big covers that I've gotten to work on. Yeah. And then soon after was working with Todd, which he actually reached out to me via Instagram, which I thought was, I couldn't believe it. I even told my wife, I was like, this is not happening, but in a nutshell, that's how it spiraled. So start off doing sketches, work my way into indie comic covers, and then this is where I'm at now.
For those young artists that are, getting into it or even trying to make it, what advice would you give them to, keep going or way to get back to better themselves?
Right. It's to not give up and discipline yourselves to do it every day, to not give up on it. I know it can be tedious learning the basics, which again, I'm going to go back to, which is learn your basics first, but also discipline yourself to get better at doing those basics. It might sound cliche, but you got to learn the rules first before you can break them. So that's what I'm a big proponent on. Learn the education first, self-teach yourself. You don't necessarily have to go to art school for that, but teach yourself fundamentals first. And then if you want to venture into schools, you can do that. But a lot of people are self-taught and they're here today, doing what they like doing.
What was the first big project you were able to be a part of?
The first one, I grew up with Marvel, like the X-Men, and when I got asked to do a cover for Marvel, that was surreal. That was my first major one. But it's not to take away from the indie guys that gave me a chance. Those are all those are all the ones that'll stay with me. So each indie covers has a whole special place in my heart, and then doing the Marvel stuff, and then doing with Todd McFarlane and. It each has its own special place, you know what I mean?
It's not easy to be an indie
right.
creator. Talk a little about working with them and what kind of goes into that a little bit.
Yeah, as far as indie guys, a local indie guys was working for The Afflicted for Jacob Marmolejo. He gave me a shot. It was an honor to do that for him. And now we're both, sharing the same floor together. I'm getting books from him, I'm signing them for him, and that in itself is surreal. So again, it goes back to just working my way up, and then guys like him giving me the chance to, provide covers for him. So, and it's also helping me to get better as an artist. Each cover I do, I notice that I'm getting a little bit better at something. So, and then as far as other indie guys that are out of town, they've given me shots and they keep coming back. So I haven't given up on them. I'm still doing stuff for them. So.
And I have to ask in person because I'm a huge turtle fan.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about working with The Last Ronin cover. How did that come about?
That started off through an inker I befriended. His name's Jeremy Clark. I met him online, and he was actually in the beginning one of the guys that helped me get some of these gigs too. So a shout out to him. We would do exclusive covers for certain shops that he knew of. So he got me in through the door with them. So. That's how it basically snowballed. He got me, he was like a middleman, but he was also my inker, so it helped. And then some other shops started hitting me up for covers too. So I was able to do 2 covers for The Last Ronin. And one of them, they reached out to me, and the other one I got through my inker. So, there's a lot of pull from everywhere, and that's a good thing. It's good to develop those good relationships with everybody, because we're all helping one another out, so.
And then last question I gotta ask.
No, yeah, go ahead, man.
what's your favorite cover or piece of art or drawing that you've done, if you could pick one?
Oh man, as far as like out of the main covers, oh man, it's nostalgia for me being able to work on Spawn and then the Ninja Turtle, because that's what I grew up with. And not to take any away from them, I love doing what I'm doing for them. That's nostalgia, but there's nothing like drawing your own characters. Like I have a bunch of my own sketches at home that I've done myself, and that's where I think at the end of the day, that's where it's at, because you want to see your own characters thrive, and I'm hoping one day I'll be able to show off my own stuff, so.
And then anything else you'd like to say or add before we end today?
Oh no, big thank you to you, man, for wanting to do this interview. I appreciate it. And then also to Troy and Angela from EPCon. They helped me out a lot here. They were nice enough to bring me on as a guest, and and I have my wife here that helps me out. So she's a big help. And to the people that come here and buy stuff, that's what makes it worth it at the end of the day.